As you guessed, she's going to be a Category 3 hit. And since it's very important that we don't let her know that we know, both the dispatcher and the officer need to make sure she doesn't hear the radio traffic.
217, is your radio secure?
Stand by. If I could ask you to wait right here, please.
Sure.
What our young lady won't be able to hear is the dispatcher telling the officer that she may be associated with terrorism and that he should get information to make a positive match. Dispatch is also giving him the number to call for the terrorist screening center.
Where'd you say you were taking those photo classes?
At Stafford Community College.
Did you get anybody's permission to shoot here?
I didn't think I'd need anyone's permission just to take a couple of photographs.
Please wait right here and don't take any more photographs.
All right, hit pause for a minute.
Now the
notice how he keeps his eye on her and backs away like she's a 800-foot cobra dripping acid out of its fangs. So all of this goes on, and that's why anywhere you are in the country, cops come over while you're taking pictures of your kid and say, don't take photos. It's about henpecking us, letting us know we're slaves, while they put cameras on us, surveil everything we're doing, micromanage our lives. Again, this is about turning the military-industrial complex loose on us, teaching the police and military we are the enemy. Because their business is war. Their business is control. No more free market, no more car manufacturing, no more semiconductor manufacturing. The tuition that's being paid for, the grants people are getting, the scholarships, it's all about spying and data mining. And when you rent a car, buy food, everything's being looked at, everything's being tracked. It's disgusting. It's a giant panopticon prison grid. Back to the federal brainwashing video. Because, of course, it turns out she's a terrorist.
Call TSC on his cell phone and talk to one of the screeners there who will determine if this woman is really the one we're interested in or just someone else with the same name.
Hit pause there. See, the feds know that a lot of people are listening with scanners, though with federal grants they're going to radio systems that scanners can't pick up, that are scrambled, descramblers. So notice they tell the slave, the minion, who's slitting his own family's throat going with the foreign bankers, they tell the cops, be sure to use a cell phone when you call it into the feds. Don't use any of the other lines. Don't use the radio. Don't relay it through the dispatcher. Use your cell. Don't talk to your locals. Get a relationship with the feds going. You don't talk to dispatch anymore. You work for the feds. If you're a good officer, we'll teach you how to ship heroin and cocaine in. Let's continue with the video.
In the case of this young lady, she really is the person on the watch list. And TSC has asked him to get more info on her without letting her know that we're interested. Let's see how he handles it.
Ma'am, this is government property, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Why? I'm not hurting anything.
The park manager doesn't want anyone down here, and I need you to leave with me.
Well, sure, officer. I didn't think this would be such a big deal, just taking some photos.
It's a liability thing. The bureaucrats are afraid that you'll stub your toe on the property and sue.
Look, we got 40 minutes left. I want to take a few phone calls. I also want to go through some of the history of provocateurs and government staging terror and what's happening with the militia movement right now, how the establishment is desperate to provocateurs some violent action. That's all coming up after this quick break. In the final 40 minutes, Infowars.com's the website.
Direct to you and in your face. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
We are live. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to take a few calls right now, and then I'm going to get back into the history of government provocateuring. How the government doesn't just provocateur, they create and they command the white supremacists, the black supremacists, the Mecha, the La Raza, which means for our race everything, those outside the race nothing, the race, to get everybody fighting with each other while the big offshore banks basically rule over us and play us off against each other. But we had a police officer send us some info. He gives us his name, but I don't want to give it on air. I may get him to pop in a minute. I'm a lieutenant in a large sheriff's office in Florida. I had to show that video to all my roll calls approximately 2 months ago. Good job for bringing it out. Mark. And we'll see if we can get Mark on a line without using his full name just to pop in. We do have some other police officers calling in and former police officers. But let's talk to Steve in New York. quickly, saying an officer gave him Endgame, my film about the world population reduction plan, from their own words. So, again, the police, we're getting reports confirmed of them handing out my films everywhere. So we don't want to be enemies with the police. They're starting to wake up to what's happening. And the Hitlers that run this country are in a lot of trouble. Kirk in London, we'll get to you after we talk to Steve in Hollis. Okay, Steve in New York, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, hello, sir. I met an ESU officer in New York. It's an emergency services unit. He's the epitome of a jackbooted thug, as we would say. And I met him, and I was going to give him a copy of the bomb deception. He's a friend of my father-in-law. And I'm talking to him, and he had copies of Endgame and all your movies in his pocket. And all his team, this is the most elite unit in New York City Police. And he's high up there, and they all are on board, which I was, like, very ecstatic about.
So you're saying one of the most elite teams in New York City. And folks...
ESU, Emergency Services Unit. You can look it up.
Well, when I would, just to back this up, when I would go to 9/11 events 5-6 years ago, we'd have cops trying to trip us, firemen yelling at us, maybe half of them. The other half saying, good job, good job. Now, when I go to 9/11 events in the last 2 years, the cops are buying us food. They're slapping us on the back. Commanders are going, like you, Alex Jones. We've even got a few clips of this, and then they'll go, I don't want to be on camera. I mean, with the cops basically almost carrying us on their shoulders in New York because we show them all the footage of the police saying, get back, the government's going to blow up Building 7. And that's their own officers. We interview the cops that say they blew up the towers. So the other cops found out about this, and then instantly they're all waking up. So you're saying he was totally on board with the New World Order, and now he has all the films.
These are the guys in the black uniforms. That's what I'm saying. These are the guys in the black uniforms.
The Hercules teams.
Yes.
And so what were they saying? What were they saying?
They were saying, well, I'm talking to one individual.
But, I mean, you were saying that he was saying the whole unit's away.
He's a high-ranking officer in that unit. That's all I'm saying. But his team is on board, and I was trying to give him. I tried to approach him very softly because I didn't know how he came out. So give him like popping a bomb reception. He's got Endgame. He's got Road to Tyranny in his pocket. He's giving it to me.
And he said, hey, buddy, I don't need that video. I got Alex Jones videos right here.
Give me Endgame like I already saw Endgame. You know, I try to soften him up a little bit, you know, when I meet somebody.
It's unbelievable. We're making history thanks to people like you out there. Anything else, Steve?
That's about it, Alex.
Good to hear from you.